Good day, good day. Thank you for joining us on this. Good day. Thank you for joining us on this, the 105th episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Issues today include Joyland Silveira murder case, local government elections, Gaza, crime in Jamaica, and Jamaica time. Desmond Richards and Winnie Anderson-Brown are with us again today. Mary White is off this week. Doing the technical and graphic support is Joshua Black. Welcome to you, colleagues. This is a reminder to you viewing live that you may comment or ask a question while we speak. And just a reminder, this video will be posted on the Frankly Speaking Jamaica YouTube channel and will be available right after this program. Please share with your friends. And of course, we ask you to subscribe. I'm reminded to stress for those who don't know that you may subscribe by just clicking that button. See that subscribe button there? Just click that. And it's free. Okay, so it's a big agenda today. Desmond, let's hear your summary of where you're going today.
Good afternoon to viewers and listeners. Yes. Well, this week I want to look at the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, Gaza conflict. I don't know many of you, but they know that the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, issued a judgment on Friday. Not a complete judgment, right? But they came out with something. I am dissatisfied with the judgment. Then after that, you know, we are approaching elections and the political parties are active to get their supporters out. The date, I am expecting that the date should be announced next week. Yes, this week. This week, of course, this week.
This coming week, yes.
And of course, how can
your first part of February, yes.
Yes, and of course, I cannot avoid talking about the crime situation in Jamaica. The blood continues to flow.
Okay, all right. We come back to you very shortly, Desmond. And Winnie, over to you.
Yes. Today, I am going to focus on this thing called Jamaica time. There's no such thing, I contend.
There is Jamaica time, no?
There's no Jamaica time. There's Eastern Standard Time, and we only have two categories of people in Jamaica. Those who respect time consistently and those who respect time conveniently. I'll talk more about those two groups of people.
Beautiful. Well, I want to speak about that first court appearance by former West St. Mary MP Joyland Silveira and actually the judge's response to the media and family of his at that occasion. Also, I want to speak about the local government elections, and I won't have the time to go to crime, but that's where we are. So let's start with Desmond Richards.
Oh, well, as I said previously, the International Court of Justice issued a judgment. You will recall that South Africa brought a case of genocide against Israel to the International Court. Well, the court did not rule on the genocide. They say that it is going to take them some more time. They issued some initial judgment and some initial orders that Israel should do what it can do to protect casualties. But fundamentally, they have not issued an order for a ceasefire. So the Israeli army will continue or has the right to continue the slaughter. And while the judgment was handed down on Friday, they killed more people. So one of the things that we
why Well, first of all, even if they had called for a ceasefire, they couldn't enforce it. But why is a ceasefire necessary, as far as you're concerned?
Well, a ceasefire is necessary so that the Palestinian people can get food and medical supplies. Right? As we speak, they are being starved. Limited amount of food and medical supplies are entering. People are leaving, and I see videos of snipers killing people who are fleeing.
And
So
people with,
we need a
white
ceasefire.
flags. People with white flags. Even CNN
Yes,
is reporting that people
of
with
course.
white flags held aloft are being shot.
Yes.
But you know, Desmond, I wonder how much Jamaicans care about what's going on there. I don't hear it in the arguments generally. It's not much in the media. On occasions, when media, of course, they go to CNN, who's reporting on the Gaza, on the Israel-Gaza conflict is abysmal. CNN, I'm sure that by now people who really want to know what's happening turn to Al Jazeera. But CNN and BBC, to a lesser extent, their reporting on it has been abysmal. But I wonder how much Jamaicans care about what's happening there.
Well, you know, Jamaicans, we have a position, a position that supports progress. No, but you are right, because the media, and that is our responsibility. The Jamaican media is not informing the Jamaican public about the atrocities taking place in Gaza. They are not doing that. And one of the things that I know, you know, is that just like how the international media, as you know, is controlled by a few people who are in support of Israel. Now, the Jamaican media is not controlled by Israeli interests, but they have not taken on this position. One of the things that our local media has not been doing, our local media has not been focusing on issues that affect deprived people in the world, right? We have not been doing that, right? And therefore, this is one of the cases where as journalists, we are not honoring our responsibilities to the people to keep them informed, right? So,
Winnie, what do you see? What do you see from where you are with regard to Gaza? If you'd love to share that.
What I can say, I wanted to comment on what Desmond just said about Jamaicans not being interested because Jamaicans took on the apartheid. Jamaican took on that. Jamaicans took that on. But
I did not say Jamaica. I did not say that, you know.
Okay, tell me what you said. I may have misunderstood.
I am saying that Jamaicans, historically, we are people who support progressive movements.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I was saying that this thing is mixed. It all depends on how you look at it from a Christian point of view. So that's another story. If you believe that the Israelites are God's people and you go back to Bible days, this is so complex that I won't take the stand on this now because it will take you off track.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. And that is also an issue that is really knotted, but never mind. Winnie, let's take your Jamaica time, at least your first shot of it right now.
Okay, what I'm saying is that this thing called Jamaica time is non-existent. We have the saying is there, but if you look at the reality of the situation, you have those people. Every Jamaican respects time, respect their own time. And if you want to see whether or not Jamaicans respect time, go to a bank, early in the morning. A bank that opens at 9, what is there? A line is there before the bank opens. And if one of them ever look on their watch, they don't care about the security's watch, and it is 9 o'clock, for example, then you hear things like, oh, what's the one with today? No, so me have to go work. So they pay attention to that. And when 5 o'clock comes, if the place closes at 5, you walk in there 10 minutes to 5 or 15 minutes to 5. Every Jamaican knows it's close to time to go home. And when Jamaicans have an appointment at the U.S. Embassy, they are there. If it's 7 o'clock in the morning, they will sleep in Kingston just to be there. So it is not true to say that Jamaicans do not respect time generally. There are those who respect time conveniently and those who respect time consistently. These are the two groups. I will pause there for now.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting because there are many Jamaicans who have a cavalier attitude to time generally, but we will come back to that, as you've said, Winnie. I want to turn to last week, Thursday, Supreme Court Judge Vinette Graham Allen barred the media from observing the first court appearance in the Home Circuit Court of former MP Joylan Silvera, charged with the murder of his wife, Melissa. The judge says she was exercising her discretion. She did so without explaining why and what for. Now, Justice Graham Allen offered that she may allow the media later on. Rightly, journalists and the Press Association of Jamaica, who represents them, and the Media Association of Jamaica, who are managers and owners of the media, hit out hard against the action of the judge. Let's just try to understand that we have a constitutional guarantee for open court here in Jamaica, in which any man or woman wanting to hear and see what's going on in our courts has been able to and should be able to just walk into the court. Of course, there have been some circumstances set by some police officers in charge of courts and sometimes the court officers which intimidate people. But that is for another matter and for another time. Now, we know, of course, that there are particular cases or parts of cases where this may not be possible. It may not be possible for everyone to see the course or for the media to be reporting on specific details in the case. In addition, judges have often asked reporters or instructed reporters not to divulge certain information coming out of cases before the courts. And this has been done. Reporters have generally followed these instructions, as in the Klansman case late last year. So you see, this is not so much about the media, but it's about justice and the right of every Jamaican to know what's going on. Now, the Silvera case has attracted a lot of attention, understandably. There's been a lot of nastiness about it too on social media, tremendous amount of nastiness. And I grieve for the children hurt in this. There's a lot of anger too over the circumstances. And there is allegations. A judge should be aware of that and that the searchlight of the media can only help in transparency and probing for the truth. Now you see, viewers and listeners, every man or woman can't attend the court. Right. Doesn't necessarily want, even if he has an interest in it, can't come from Westmoreland or even from St. Anne or Clarendon to go to the court. They don't have the time, don't have the arrangements. That's why the media and the representatives are there. When a judge slams that door, it's slammed in your faces. So, I think it's clear that the judge will be more sensitive to all of this next time. Okay, Desmond, want to send you on to your second issue. Is he there? Desmond is looking at us sideways now.
Right.
Winnie, you wanted a comment?
No, I was just saying Desmond was not.
Okay. Desmond, there you go.
Yes. Where's Desmond?
Where is he? All right, he's
okay.
disappeared.
Okay. Let me.
When you want to finish up your
yes.
point.
Let me take
Please.
it away. I am suggesting that this attitude to time, this cavalier attitude that some people have to time, you have more people in the upper echelon of society with that attitude.
Is that so?
Yes, there's something called fashionably late. Haven't you had to wait for dignitaries to appear? And when they appear, they give no apology. They just appear late, as if they are
because they are busy. Because it's suggested that they are busy. They have lots of meetings to do and stuff.
And
Winnie,
that
is nonsense.
Winnie, journalists have had to wait for hours for press conferences held by government ministers.
You are talking the truth. This one thing I can say about Bruce Golding, at least his inauguration started on time. And that was remarkable for me, because most times official functions do not begin on time. And
I'm trying to remember whether it was Golding or Patterson who decided early on in their tenure not to tell people that if they are there for half an hour and the function is starting late, they're leaving. I don't remember, but never mind.
I'm not sure, but I am sure that Bruce Golding's inauguration started on time. And this attitude that because you have hold a certain position, everybody should ignore the fact that you are late. That is something that should not be accepted, should no longer be accepted, because time is the most valuable resource that we have. When time is lost, it can never be regained. Unlike money that just changes hands, time lost is lost forever. So unless we pay more attention to time and hold people accountable, when they come late, nobody should be there waiting for them. And most times they don't apologize. And I'm saying this.
But we are laid back people, Winnie. That's why we're laid back. We're cool.
When it suits us. When it suits us, I said earlier that when people have their own business, Jamaicans do not respect other people's time. They respect their own. If you say, okay, I am going to give $1 million for the person who comes first, people will sleep at that venue. People will do whatever it takes because it is in their own interest to be on time.
Like the visa.
Yes, it's in their own interest to be on time. So this thing called Jamaica time does not exist. Every Jamaican respects time. Some do it consistently, as I said before, and some conveniently. And those who do it conveniently, among those you have officials, public officials. And I am going to get hit for this, but I really don't care. Principals start out with that in schools. They disregard the time that is set for devotions. If they fail to preach that day, they will take up the first period of the day and no one should say anything about that. Bad habits from early. And students are trained to disregard time as far as...
That's quite right on that. The first period of the school should start at 8:20 and the principal is still there and knocking on at 8:30 going on because he has the authority, or she.
That is it. So it begins from that early stage, and unless we do something about that, I don't think that we are on the path to where we want to go unless we pay attention to the most important resource we have, and that's time.
Desmond,
your time, Mr. Desmond, your time. Not taking any more out of your time, Mr. Desmond. You go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. And I said I cannot avoid the crime problem again. This is the number one problem facing the country, listeners and viewers. I'm sure that almost the crime has affected.
Well, Sir Desmond, I have to correct our friend who has put up this major crime issue, because crime is down, Mr. Joshua. crime is down this year. Your diagram there showing crime is up. But Mr. Desmond, go ahead, brother Desmond. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, this question about crime down, yes, yes, the numbers are down, but we are still, I am sure, last week, the 15th, the 13th, we had 33 murders. And I'm sure since then, we are close to 50 murders now. And we might end up with 50 murders this January. That's too much.
And
Just
Desmond,
this
it is
weekend.
too much. And I'm thanking you for bringing it up again, because as I pointed out in the first podcast we had for this year, when I was knocked over by the numbers in New York,
a
city of 9 million people, and last year they had 395 murders. 395. And we in Jamaica had 1,393. Of a 3 million population, we had nearly 3 times their numbers. It is amazing.
There's
it
no
is disgraceful.
Yes,
we have
there's
to
no excuse. There is no excuse.
And the gunmen are indiscriminate. Just this weekend there, I think it was Friday, they ran down a 9-year-old boy in Clarendon and gunned him down. And I think his mother is still in the hospital. 7 were shot in Westmoreland at a party. And 2 murdered.
Yes.
And 2 were murdered up in Nannyville there yesterday. And I'm sure there were more murders. Every weekend there is
there are more. We just reported one in the North Coast Times in Ocherius where a man just shot another man in a fast food place. The quarrel was over their position in the queue.
Okay. That is
police can't stop those murders, Desmond. So what is your answer to that? Police can't stop. How is police going to stop all that one down there now?
Hello. Listen. Yeah. When you say police can't stop it, you can't. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
like a man going for his gun in his car and coming and shooting the other man.
We are not saying we are not saying that we can have a policeman everywhere in Jamaica. Not that. But what I am saying, sir, is that we need to look at the strategies that are being used. The strategies are failing.
I would agree with that.
Right? Because what we need to do, we need to focus on prevention. Right? The last time I spoke with the minister, he told me that they are going to be putting a lot of effort and funds into the social side of crime this year, where I'm looking forward. Because one of the things that you can look at, the majority of the victims are the younger people, and the younger people are the perpetrators, right? So we must do something that will focus on rescuing the youth from the criminal activities. The country must do that. No, are we going to wait until
that? And it's not a simple thing, Desmond. I buy that, and I bought that idea for a while, that it has to be focused on them. Has to be. But it's not an easy. It's something.
But we must start.
It must be done. It must be done. It must be done.
We must start. What I'm saying, we must make a start, right? We cannot continue to count the numbers every year and look at these little
10% down or 12% down.
Yes.
Every life saved is precious, but my goodness, man, we can't be into hundreds of people being killed in Jamaica every year, 1,200, 1,400. But as you have pointed out several times for the last 20 years, we can't keep doing that. And it's and people must be sensitized, Desmond. The reason I keep mentioning that New York number is that people say them kill people everywhere. Yes, they kill people everywhere, but there's no reason whatsoever that these numbers should continue in Jamaica. It should not be allowed to continue. And people must make it clear to our political representatives that it should not continue. And we have some responsibility as individuals.
And the people have an opportunity now to put the crime issue on the table It is local government elections. They are going to be electing local representatives. And therefore, they should be discussing these issues with their councillors who are
Which takes us
representing.
nicely into local government, Desmond. But guess what happened?
Yeah.
Local government is not a time when people take on these national issues. All politics says local, but local government election time is not. What were the councillors? What would you be telling your councillor about crime, for example? Give me an idea, a suggestion.
Hold on. The councillors are the representative of the people, you know.
Yes, at the local level.
So therefore, and they are the ones who are supposed to be meeting with their constituents on a regular basis. So therefore, have them. It must be a discussion that they must take to the higher level. That is what I'm saying. The voters must.
Sorry, go ahead.
The voters should put it on the table as one of the things that they want the councillors in this local government elections to do, to bring the crime matter to their members of parliament, to the higher authorities. That's what I'm saying.
But we don't have a system. We don't have a system like that. Nobody cares what the people on the ground have to say. It's about we vote for people to talk for us. We don't have a system where the issues that are raised, for example, if I go to my councillor with an issue, is that taken to the parish council meeting, and then where does it go after that? What system do we have in place to make sure that our concerns reach where we want them to go?
Very important point, Winnie, and I think it's something that I would love us for us to discuss, whether there's actually a pathway. But the guessing game has started for this local government elections. We're down to the wire now to hold elections by the end of February. Now, I believe that this week, as Desmond said earlier, there will be an announcement. Now, nomination day must be, according to the Representation of the People's Act, nomination day must be at least 5 clear days between nomination day. After the announcement of election, the 5 clear days to nomination day. And then between nomination day and election day, 16 days minimum and no more than 23 days. So do some math and you see that it looks like we're going to get it late January, an announcement, or early February. And therefore, the signs are everywhere. Desmond, as we were saying off air, the signs are everywhere. Key government ministers are all over the place. All sorts of promises are being made. The opposition is using every occasion to speak, issuing releases left, right, and center. It's upon us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's upon us. So
Yes,
Desmond
sir.
is saying, I'll give you your final word, Desmond, before Winnie's final two seconds. Your final word, Desmond.
Well, my final word, I am wondering what is going to be done to stop the murder, stop the killings.
Winnie,
I'm very concerned.
You're watching the time, Winnie. Your time.
I'm saying we should hold each other accountable as far as time is concerned. That's the most valuable resource we have.
Thank you. For sharing, and please subscribe. On behalf of Desmond Richards and Winnie Anderson and Joshua Black, I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then. Mr. Black.